SCP Foundation. Secure, contain, and protect. Warning: the Foundation database is classified. Access by any unauthorized personnel is strictly prohibited. Perpetrators will be tracked, located, and detained. Will you proceed? Accessing database. Welcome to the SCP Foundation, where it is our job to secure, contain, and protect the public from anything that may be deemed out of the ordinary. Congratulations on being hired! This set of helpful videos will let you get to know about your new job and the things that you may face on a day-to-day basis. First and foremost, object classes are used to determine threat levels of a subject. The primary classes are Safe, Euclid, and Keter. Safe is self-explanatory. They either are not a threat at all, or we know enough about them that stopping them is easy. Euclid is for subjects that are not understood and could be deemed unsafe or unpredictable. Most subjects are categorized under Euclid. Finally, we have Keter. Keter is safe for anomalies that are proven to be a threat to the SCP staff and mankind as a whole, or that the SCP Foundation cannot fully contain. With the definitions that you are to come across the most out of the way, it is time that we introduce you to a few of our anomalies. Do familiarize yourself with them, and if any Class C or higher personnel has given you any other instructions outside of this video series, do follow them without hesitation. Without further ado, here are SCPs 001 through 010. SCP-001. The following files have been classified top secret by order of the Administrator. General Notice 001-Alpha. In order to prevent knowledge of SCP-001 from being leaked, several /no false SCP-001 files have been created alongside the true file/files. All files concerning to the nature of SCP-001, including the decoy/decoys, are protected by a memetic kill agent designed to immediately cause cardiac arrest in any non-authorized personnel attempting to access the file. Revealing the true nature/natures of SCP-001 to the general public is cause for execution, except as required under Warning: any non-authorized personnel accessing this file will be immediately terminated through Barryman Langfold, memetic kill agent. Proceeding further without proper memetic inoculation will result in immediate cardiac arrest, followed by death. You have been warned. Memetic kill agent activated. Continued life signs confirmed. Removing safety interlocks. Welcome, authorized personnel. We will now randomly select you a file. Item number SCP-001. Object class Euclid/Keter. Special containment procedures. Because of the nature of SCP-001, no containment procedures are necessary. 24/7 monitoring of SCP-001 is to take place from a safe, 10 kilometers or more, distance from a predetermined location, Site 0. The location of Site 0 is known to only current SCP administrators and the single Overseer-level agent of Abrahamic Faith 05-14, assigned to monitor SCP-001 from Site 0. Said agent is authorized to take any action necessary should SCP-001 become active and is required to immediately alert the Administrator and all other Overseer-level agents should SCP-001 show any change in behavior, as this may constitute as the beginning of Patmos XK class end-of-the-world scenario. Should SCP-001 become active in any way, personnel are required to immediately consult the Patmos series of emergency orders. Decoding algorithms for emergency order Patmos are to be maintained on-site at Site 0 in the position of designated observer, and are to be transmitted to the SCP Foundation offices only in the event of SCP-001 becoming active. Foundation personnel with vital roles in one or more variants of emergency procedures Patmos are to be advised to take the following precautions. To maintain good relations with one or more organized Abrahamic faiths. To maintain on hand a supply of the following: holy water, a rosary, a crucifix, cross, prayer rug, or other symbol blessed by an Abrahamic clerk of bishop or equivalent higher rank, a copy of Abrahamic scriptures, Torah, Bible, or Quran, and standard emergency supplies in mobile form, bug-out bag. In case of a per-millennial rapture scenario, all vital personnel are to designate a second operative of non-Abrahamic faith. Said secondary operative is to be informed of the location of the primary designated's copy of Emergency Procedure Patmos and Mimetic Kill Agent Inoculant, and is to be kept on ready status to take over primary's duties as necessary. To maintain familiarity with all other SCPs involved in possible Patmos XK class end-of-the-world scenarios. Description: SCP-001 is a humanoid entity approximately 700 cubics in height, located in an undisclosed location near the intersection of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The following features are known about the entity: a number of luminous, wing-like appendages emerging from the shoulders, back, temples, ankles, and wrists of the entity. Although an accurate count has never been established, most observers place the number of wings at anywhere from 2 to 108, with a mean number being 4. A weapon, possibly a sword or knife, SCP-001-2. The weapon appears to emit flames at a temperature rivaling that of the sun, based on spectrographic analysis, although there appears to be no destructive effects from the intense heat on the surrounding area. Any entity that approaches within 1 kilometer of SCP-001 is immediately struck by the weapon and obliterated from existence. Any and all hostile actions taken towards SCP-001 have resulted in annihilation of the attacker, regardless of range. See Incident Report, Re-India Ocean Submarine Missile Experiment, December 26, 2004. SCP-001 appears to be standing with its head bowed in a gesture of supplication, with SCP-001-2 held in both hands pointed down in front of it. Since originally recorded by the founder over years ago, SCP-001 has not deviated from this stance. Human beings exposed to SCP-001 report hearing voices in their heads, giving them directive, which the subject reports cannot be disobeyed. The most common directive is forget, which results in the subject walking away from SCP-001 with no memory of having encountered it. On rare occasions, however, the directives have been given. The most famous of these was one given to the founder, Prepare, which he has claimed formed the impetus for founding. To catalog and contain any and all supernatural and/or paranormal artifacts that represent a serious threat to the current existence of humanity. This is the organization now known as the SCP Foundation. Observers have reported that SCP-001 appears to be standing in front of a gate of immense proportions. Long-range photographs have occasionally detected what appears to be a pastoral grove within containing numerous of other entities of same composition to SCP-001, as well as several fruit trees of unknown composition. Of particular note, there are 2 fruit trees of immense proportion near what appears to be the center of the grove. One, it is noted, appears to be an ordinary apple tree, although others bear fruit unknown on Earth, described as. It is the avowed belief of the founder that the gate which SCP-001 guards may be the gate to, based on the correlations with ancient Babylonian texts and the Dead Sea Scrolls, in which case, one can deduce that the entity known as SCP-001 may be Addendum 001-A. Experimentation Re-SCP-001-2's effective kill range. Experiment A. 1 Class D personnel instructed to approach SCP-001 as closely as possible on foot. Result: upon making visual contact with SCP-001, subject is ordered to leave. Subject immediately turns away from entity and walks away, despite repeated orders to continue the experiment. Class D personnel refuses to obey and is terminated. Upon termination of Class D personnel, all research staff involved are immediately obliterated by unknown forces, presumably SCP-001-2. Experiment B. One remote-operated research robot guided to approach SCP-001 from the ground. Result: upon approaching within 1 kilometer of SCP-001, research robot is obliterated, presumably by SCP-001-2. All further attempts at remote reconnaissance have had the same result. Experiment C. 100 pre-programmed research drones instructed to approach SCP-001 from multiple angles simultaneously. Result: coordination is successful, and all 100 drones cross the 1 kilometer mark simultaneously. However, all are simultaneously obliterated by SCP-001-2. Designated observer at Site 0 reports that SCP-001-2 appeared to strike at all directions at once. SCP-001 did not deviate from its stance while this took place. Experiment D. Wire-guided missile fired from distance of 3 kilometers. Result: SCP-001-2 obliterates weapon upon crossing the 1 kilometer mark, simultaneously obliterating the bomb site and killing all personnel. Experiment E. Multi-warhead international ballistic missile fired from SCP nuclear submarine Nautilus. Results: See Indian Ocean Submarine Missile Experiment, December 26, 2004. Experiment F. SCP-076 and Task Force Omega instructed to approach SCP-001 on foot. Result: SCP-076 refuses to carry out mission, despite not being informed of the mission's nature. Upon being asked why, SCP-076 replies, "No, just no." Experiment G. SCP-073. Due to the results of Experiment F, SCP-073 was not informed of his destination until arriving at Site 0. Result: SCP-073 approached the site on foot. Upon seeing SCP-001, SCP-073 became distressed and asked to abort. SCP-073 was ordered to continue. At that point, the symbol on SCP-073's forehead becomes. Experiment was terminated due. See Addendum 001-AA. Addendum 001-AA. By executive order of the Administrator, no further experiments are to be carried out re SCP-001. No further SCPs are to be exposed to SCP-001. SCP-001 is to not be used to dispose of dangerous SCPs. Please see revised containment procedures for details. Addendum. On. The following errant transmission was received by Foundation personnel. Initiate emergency procedures, Patmos Omega. Attention, all Foundation personnel. The following message was received at approximately this morning from Site 0. SCP-001 has left its location. The gate is open. They are riding forth. Oh God, it's so beautiful. The Lord reign, the Lord reign, the Lord reign, the Lord shall reign forever. The Lord reign, the Lord reign, the Lord reign, the Lord reign, the Lord shall reign forever. The Lord reign, the Lord reign, the Lord reign, the Lord shall reign forever. The Lord is God, 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 the Lord is God. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Because of this event's confluence with the recent breach of SCP-995, the opening of SCP-616, and the activation of SCP-098, the Foundation is required to immediately begin preparations for an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario. SCP-076 and SCP-073 are to be secured immediately. All personnel are to unlock and decode Emergency Order Patmos Omega, and follow all orders within. Site 19 is to be secured, and all non-essential SCPs and personnel terminated and/or destroyed. Repeat. Because of this event's confluence with the recent breach of SCP-995, the opening of SCP-616, and the activation of SCP-098, the Foundation is required to immediately begin preparations for an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario. SCP-076 and SCP-073 are to be secured immediately. All personnel are to unlock and decode Emergency Order Patmos Omega, and follow all orders within. Site 19 is to be secured, and all non-essential SCPs and personnel terminated and/or destroyed. Repeat. Because of the event's confluence with the recent breach of SCP-995, the opening of SCP-616, and the activation of SCP-098, the Foundation is required to immediately begin preparations for an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario. SCP-076 and SCP-073 are to be secure immediately. Cain and Abel are my two sons. I am coming. All personnel are to unlock and decode. Behold, I stand at the gate and knock, and if any is found, follow, all, And I saw a new heaven and new earth, and the fruit of. Signal lost. Upon contacting Site 0, 05-14 responded that no such message has been sent from the location, and that SCP-001 remains inert. The transmission was initially determined to be a hoax. However, close examination of the transmission reveals a timestamp dated years in the future, and is theorized that Item Number SCP-002 Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-002 is to remain connected to a suitable power supply at all times, to keep it in what appears to be a recharging mode. In case of an electrical outage, the emergency barrier between the object and the facility is to be closed and the immediate area evacuated. Once facility power has been re-established, alternating bursts of X-ray and ultraviolet light must strobe the area until SCP-002 is reaffixed to the power supply and returned to recharging mode. Containment area is to be kept at a negative air pressure at all times. Teams including a minimum of 2 members are required within 20 meters of SCP-002 or its containment area. Personnel should maintain physical contact with one another at all times to confirm there is another person present, as perception may be dulled, skewed, or influenced by proximity to the object. No personnel below Level 3 are permitted within SCP-002. This requirement may be waived via written authorization from 2 off-site Level 4 administrators. Command staff issued such a waiver must be escorted by at least 5 Level 3 security personnel for the duration of the contact and must temporarily surrender their rank and security clearances. Following contact, command staff will be escorted to at least 5 kilometers from SCP-002 to undergo a 72-hour quarantine and psychological evaluation. If deemed fit for returning to duty by psych staff, rank and security clearance may be restored when quarantine expires. Description: SCP-002 resembles a tumorous, fleshy growth with a volume of roughly 60 cubic meters. An iron valve hatch on the side leads into its interior, which appears to be a standard low-rent apartment of moderate size. One wall of the room possesses a single window, though no such opening is visible from the exterior. The room contains furniture, which upon closer examination appears to be sculpted bone, woven hair, and various other biological substances produced by the human body. All matter tested thus far show independent or fragmented DNA sequences for each object in the room. Refer to the Molson Report, cross-reference document 00.023.603 for details related to the object's discovery. Reference. To date, subject has been responsible for the disappearance of 7 personnel. It has also, in its time at the facility, further furnished itself with 2 lamps, a throw rug, a television, a radio, a beanbag chair, 3 books in unknown languages, 4 children's toys, and a small potted plant. Tests with a variety of lab animals, including higher primates, have failed to provoke a response from SCP-002. Cadavers as well fail to produce any effect. Whatever possesses this subject uses it to convert organic matter into furnishings, is apparently only facilitated by those introduced in living humans. View Molson Report? The following is a brief report detailing the discovery of SCP-002. Subject was discovered in a small crater in northern Portugal, where it struck the Earth from an orbit. Encased in a shell of thick rock, the fleshy exterior of the object was exposed by the impact. A native farmer happened upon the site and reported his findings to the village elder. Subject gained SCP attention when a Level 4 agent posted in the area detected a small radioactive anomaly generated by the object. A collection squad of SCP security personnel, led by General Molson, was immediately dispatched to the area, where they quickly secured the subject in a large container and performed initial testing with subjects recruited from nearby villages. 3 men individually sent into the structure subsequently disappeared. Upon discovering this deadly property of the subject, General Molson issued a Level 4A termination order of any witnesses, roughly 1/3 of the village, to ensure no outside knowledge of the object, and initiated its transport to SCP facility. During preparation for transportation, 4 SCP security personnel were inexplicably drawn inside the object, where they too immediately disappeared. Following inspection, it appeared as if the object had grown several new furnishings and was beginning to look like the interior of an apartment room. General Molson immediately ordered the requisition of several Class 3 hazmat suits for the remaining security team members, who proceeded to lift the container into a waiting freight ship for transport to the SCP containment facility. Following the termination of General Molson, SCP-002 was re-secured by SCP staff and brought into a special containment where it currently resides. Staff with clearance below Level 3 have been denied access to SCP-002 container without prior approval of at least 2 Level 4 staff after the Molson incident.
SCP-003. Object Class: Euclid. SCP-003 is to be maintained at a constant temperature of no less than 35 degrees Celsius and ideally kept above 100 degrees Celsius. No living multicellular organisms of Category 4 or higher complexity may be allowed to come into contact with SCP-003. In event of a total power failure, if SCP-003-1 begins to increase its mass, assigned personnel must engage in skin contact with SCP-003-1. Ideally, personnel may use their body heat to return SCP-003-1 to above the critical temperature. However, skin contact must be maintained even in event of SCP-003 reaching activation temperature, lasting at minimum until SCP-003-1 advances fully to its second growth stage. Personnel who enter SCP-003's containment area must first be examined for body parasites of Category 4 or higher complexity, and sterilized if such organisms are present. All personnel who have come in physical contact with SCP-003-1 are to immediately report for sterilization afterwards. SCP-003-1 must not be removed from SCP-003-2, except in case of emergency procedures detailed above. Any significant change in SCP-003-2's rune activity, including pattern, frequency, or color, should be reported within 3 hours of occurrence. Cessation of rune activity must be reported immediately. SCP-003-2 must be supplied with power via the source-designated Generator 003-9 at all times. Description: SCP-003 consists of 2 related components of separate origin, referred to as SCP-003-1 and SCP-003-2. SCP-003-1 appears to be composed of chitin, hair, and nails of unknown biology, arranged in a configuration similar to that of a computer motherboard. Testing reveals SCP-003-1 to predate earliest known circuit boards by a factor of thousands of years. SCP-003-1 is considered sentient, but not actively dangerous except under certain conditions. SCP-003-1 was found on a stone tablet, SCP-003-2, on which it currently resides. The runes on SCP-003-2 are not part of any known language and emit pale, flickering light patterns. SCP-003-2 is controlled by a non-biological internal computer, the contents of which are mostly inaccessible without risk of damaging SCP-003-2. SCP-003-2 is capable of controlled emissions of radiation, including heat, light, and anomalous radiation types. SCP-003-2 contains an internal power source of an anomalous nature, which appears to have been losing power since several centuries before discovery. It is considered probable that SCP-003-2 was created for the purpose of containing SCP-003-1. Partially interpreted data recovered from SCP-003-2 may refer to a past and/or potential future LK class restructuring event caused by SCP-003-1. SCP-003 was located by remote viewing team SRV-04 Beta. It appears possible that SRV-04 Beta was deliberately contacted by SCP-003-2. Other organizations have also been alerted to SCP-003's existence, possibly by similar means. Despite this activity, SCP-003-2 does not appear to be sentient, based on its lack of reaction to M03-Gloria analysis and procedures. When SCP-003 drops below the temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, both components react. First, SCP-003-1 enters a growth state characterized by an exponential increase in mass. This growth state consists of two stages. In both stages, SCP-003-1 partially fuels its growth by converting matter around it, starting with only surrounding inorganic material, including atmospheric elements, then non-living organic material, including cells of dead skin, hair, chitin, enamel, keratin, and other biological materials. The first stage is always the same. SCP-003-1 will first increase its mass, then take a form similar to the shape of an ophiuroid, brittle star, of 15 meters in diameter, including what appears to be a central processor of 3 meters in diameter. It will form sensory organs that appear to scan its surrounding environment, and will partially convert the area around it to an unidentified anomalous substance. SCP-003-2 seems immune from conversion. The second stage describes a growth alteration, which occurs when SCP-003 comes into contact with living organic material. SCP-003 appears to template itself off of the organic material, and will attempt communication with organisms that match its initial template or templates. In its second stage, SCP-003-1 may pause, slow, or change its growth, and will also convert inorganic and non-living organic elements into functionally similar structures, while anomalously altering their physical makeup. While growth is consistent in the first stage, in the second stage, SCP-003-1's growth rate is diminished by 20 to 90%, so long as SCP-003-1 remains in contact with living organic material. The percentage is determined by the complexity of the organism or organisms in contact with SCP-003-1. SCP-003-1 appears to devote a large amount of processing power to analysis of living organic material. During each of SCP-003-1's growth stages, SCP-003-2 releases bursts of radiation that temporarily inhibit SCP-003-1's growth, or reverse this growth when the temperature of SCP-003-1 rises above 100 degrees Celsius. Similar radiation emissions have been replicated or recorded via other anomalous means. SCP-003-1's biology has been the subject of extensive study. Significant elements have been identified similar to SCP-1512 and SCP-2756, the latter two of which have no further confirmed connection with SCP-003-1 and no known connection with each other, and none of which are fully understood. Technically, even less understood than SCP-003, thanks to the extensive cross-disciplinary research on the SCP-003 objects. To date, no convincing analysis has been put forward which satisfactorily explains SCP-003-1's connections to these SCP objects or others, nor its connection to modern technology beyond appearance, and potential mimicry via unknown mechanisms. Addendum 003-01. Acting on information gathered from linguistic analysis of SCP-003-2's runes and comparative data analysis, Research Team M03-Gloria has managed to establish a link between SCP-003 and for analysis of functions. SCP-003-1 must now be considered sentient and is to be kept a minimum of 1 kilometer from and the resulting byproduct at all times. Addendum 003-02. SCP-003-2's power loss has been exacerbated by the procedures performed by M03-Gloria. On orders of 05-10, M03-Gloria will continue procedures. Addendum 003-03. During M03-Gloria procedures, SCP-003-1 doubled its mass and began rapid structural growth. Temperature was immediately returned to 100 degrees Celsius. Growth and mass increase of SCP-003-1 continued for 9 minutes and 6 seconds, at which time a sustained radiation spike was produced by SCP-003-2. In response, SCP-003-1 returned to its normal state in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. New growth dissolved into a dusty residue which was collected for analysis. Both SCP-003-1 and -2 ceased all detectable activity. SCP-003-2 did not resume activity until connected to external power source. SCP-003-2's runes glowed uniformly grey and did not resume normal activity for 3 hours. SCP-003-2 no longer appears to be able to maintain containment area at a temperature above 35 degrees Celsius without external power supplied by generators 0033 through 9. Addendum 003-04. The procedure detailed in Addendum 003-03 was repeated, and SCP-003-1 again entered a growth state. After 10 minutes and 13 seconds, SCP-003-2 once again produced a sustained radiation spike. SCP-003-1's growth stopped for 36 seconds, then resumed at its previous pace. On quadrupling its mass, SCP-003-1 formed a coherent outer shell and body. After appearing to scan its environment and partially converting its environment, SCP-003-1 then breached containment, entering the observation gallery where 9 members of M03-Gloria were present. On physical contact with team members, SCP-003-1 encompassed them in rapidly grown appendages and stopped growth for 15 minutes. SCP-003-1 then resumed growth, and rearranged the component parts of the center of its form to the shape of a 3-meter-tall female humanoid, with peripheral tentacles shifting to extrude primarily from SCP-003-1's newly formed hair and spine. SCP-003-1 then produced rudimentary vocalizations in an apparent initial attempt to communicate with researchers. An unknown individual approached the compromised containment area in company of a full squad of agents. The individual claimed to be acting on orders of O5-10 and attempted communication with SCP-003-1. Following this incident, Agent Jackson of M03-Gloria successfully restored power to SCP-003-2 and activated backup generators to return the temperature to 100 degrees Celsius. SCP-003-1 returned to its normal state in 21 minutes and 7 seconds, and was successfully recontained without incident. All 9 members of M03-Gloria affected by SCP-003-1 were afterwards found to be physically unharmed, with no residual effects besides psychological trauma. The converted materials of SCP-003's former containment area did not dissolve and are now under analysis. Addendum 003-05. In light of the previous incident, O5-10 was removed from the O5 Council by joint decision of O5-, O5-, and O5-. M03-Gloria procedures have been indefinitely suspended.
Item Number SCP-004. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. When handling items SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13, proper procedure is vital. The items are not permitted to be moved off-site unless accompanied by 2 Level 4 security personnel. Under no circumstances should any other component of SCP-004 be taken through SCP-004-1. The effects of doing so are as yet unknown, and the current cost of experimentation makes further research impractical. Should any of the objects contained within SCP-004-1 breach containment, or the facility be breached, the keys must be brought inside and the door closed prior to activation of Site-62's on-site warhead. Unauthorized removal of keys from the testing area is grounds for immediate termination. Level 1 clearance is required for basic access to SCP-004-1. Level 4 clearance is required for use of SCP-004-2 to -13. Description: SCP-004 consists of an old wooden barn door, SCP-004-1, and a set of 12 rusted steel keys, SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13. The door itself is the entrance to an abandoned factory. Chronological History 07-02-1949. A group of 3 juveniles trespassing on federal property near find the door. According to their testimony, they find a set of rusted keys in an iron lockbox and determine what door the keys unlock. The juveniles are taken into custody after they contact Sheriff, and one of their friends, SCP-004-CAS-01, goes missing. 07-03-1949. Local authorities find the severed right hand of SCP-004-CAS-01 8 kilometers from SCP-004-1. Other parts of SCP-004-CAS-01's body are found scattered as far as 32 kilometers from the factory. Under interrogation, the apprehended juveniles tell authorities that upon opening the door with one of the keys, SCP-004-CAS-01 was torn into several pieces, each of which disappeared. At this point, the SCP Foundation takes over the investigation. 07-04-1949. SCP Agent obtains the keys from the local authorities to begin testing. Tests show that SCP-004-2 through SCP-004-13 all fit into a single lock on a large barred door. 12 Class D personnel are assigned to test the effects of the door. Of the 12 test subjects each trying a different key to enter the room, only 2 survive. Opening the door with any key except SCP-004-7 or SCP-004-12 caused the test subjects to be torn apart in multiple directions. However, no dismembered parts were found until later. At the time of writing, only 2 parts of each subject have been recovered, with the exception of the subject using SCP-004-, whose pieces were scattered in close proximity. The others have, for all intents and purposes, vanished from existence. Of the 2 surviving subjects, only one, having used SCP-004-7, returned unharmed. The other came back in a near catatonic state, able only to remove himself from the room and then collapse on the floor, and had to be restrained to prevent him from gouging out his own eyes. See Appendix A, Mental Health Effects of SCP-004. The subject using SCP-004-7 said that he had entered a large room, impossibly big for the size of the attached building. After his exit, SCP-004-1 was propped open and an armed squad of Level 3 personnel entered. The size of the room is impossible to measure, and the doorframe and the individuals in the room are the only part of the room that can be felt or eliminated. 07-16-1949. The juvenile suspects and sheriff are terminated. 08-02-1949. Is declared as a hazardous area due to unexploded ordnance, and fences erected in order to prevent civilian ingress. Tests to determine safety of exposure to environment behind SCP-004-1 begin. 12-01-1950. Space-time anomalies resulting from exposure to SCP-004 are confirmed. Testing is suspended until further notice. 07-02-1950. The unaccounted for remains of SCP-004-CAS-01 appear unexpectedly outside SCP-004-1. Despite being killed decades before, the remains of SCP-004-CAS-01 are not decomposed in any manner and are still warm to the touch. Blood remains uncoagulated. The remains are remanded for testing. 04, 19. The unaccounted for remains of one of the 12 original test subjects appear in similar manner to those of SCP-004-CAS-01. The remains have been designated SCP-004-CAS-02. Records suggest that both SCP-004-CAS-01 and CAS-02 used SCP-004-03-21, 1999. With the massive proliferation of nuclear weapons, and World War III only 16 years away, construction has begun on a site inside SCP-004-1. The site is to stock supplies for person days. 04-21, 1999 has ordered the site inside SCP-004-1 to be expanded to include emergency storage for all mobile SCP- specimens, and a 2 petabyte database for the storage of all SCP data. The facility is now referred to as Site-62. 09-25, 2000. Site-62 is operational. Labs and containment units are complete and can contain the most dangerous specimens. Backup of the SCP database has begun. 01-25, 2001. Due to time anomalies, all personnel working at Site-62 are now required to reside on-site permanently. Families of personnel are to be informed that loved ones perished in an industrial accident. Cloned bodies have been prepared for the funeral. 08-14, 2003. Massive power outage across northeast United States and through Canada. Due to the initial failure of multiple SCP generators, Site-62 was without power for 53 minutes. During those 53 minutes, those on site were completely without any source of light. They reported sensing creatures and people, though no abnormal entities could be seen or felt. Selected facility personnel were allowed to read and said the creatures sensed were of a humanoid size, but otherwise similar to the massive green creature described. Space-time anomalies. SCP-004 seems to propagate spatio-temporal anomalies. Personnel leaving the facility report losing time. Those who have been in the site for weeks insist they had only been in the facility for several days, and records of work completed and supplies consumed support their claims. Other temporal anomalies involve SCP-004-2 through -13, especially the reappearance of SCP-004-CAS-01 and SCP-004-CAS-02, exact after using SCP-004- been assigned to investigate all aspects of these time anomalies. Spatial anomalies include the impossibly large dimensions of the area opened by SCP-004-7. Similarly, the 2003 blackout incident suggests that there exists an alternate plane of existence within the same space that Site-62 occupies. Additional notes. Testing on SCP-004 reveals that 10 of the keys open SCP-004-1 in a dimension where the laws of physics and topology are significantly different than those of our home dimension. Test subjects meeting these hostile conditions are torn apart, their body parts deposited in various locations, only 3 of which have been verified to be on Earth. Material deposited at 2 of these points appears immediately. Material deposited at the 3rd appears exactly into the future. The other 7 locations are currently unknown. Current testing focuses on 2 avenues of research. The first is finding ways to survive SCP-004's hostile topologies. The second suggests that SCP-004-2 through -13 may open doors other than SCP-004-1. Appendix A. Mental health effects of SCP-004-12. All Class D personnel using SCP-004-12 return in a catatonic state, unable to speak. Some may have enough energy left to try and claw out their eyes. Of the 16 subjects, only 4 have survived. Only 1 has regained speech, following long-term psychotherapy. He was able to tell the psychiatrist that he saw a massive green creature, so large that much of its body extended beyond his field of view. He reported innate fear and sudden recognition, as if it were something buried deep in primal fears, and forced implantation of incomprehensible memories. Subject displays acute anterograde and retrograde amnesia. Appendix B. Additional information. Item number SCP-004-14. Date of discovery 09/02/1950. Origin of object. Object was discovered elsewhere in factory area, in the previously undiscovered manager's office. Description. Object appears as a large, unvarnished wooden box. The box may be unlocked by the safe key SCP-004-7, as well as 5 of the unsafe keys, see document SCP-004-1. Upon unlocking SCP-004-14 with SCP-004-7, the box opens automatically on hinges. The volume of the space inside is precisely 5 times greater than the outer dimensions imply. Items placed within while the lid remains open do not affect the weight or any other properties of the box. When the lid is closed and locked, however, all items inside vanish irretrievably. Personnel locked inside the box are also irretrievable, although losing personnel in this fashion appears to affect significantly the dreams experienced by
Item number SCP-005. Object class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-005 poses no immediate risk in any direct sense. Even so, its unique functions require special measures to be taken to prevent manipulation of the object. Approval from at least one Level 4 personnel is required before removal of the object from the containment area. Description. In appearance, SCP-005 resembles that of an ordnate key, displaying characteristics of a typical mass-produced key used in the 1920s. The key was discovered when a civilian used it to infiltrate a high-security facility. SCP-005 seems to have the unique ability of opening any form of lock, be it mechanical or digital, with relative ease. The origin of this ability has yet to be determined. Additional notes. SCP-005 may be used as a replacement for lost security passes, but only under the supervision of at least one Level 4 personnel. SCP-005 may not be used for vending machine repairs, opening lockers, or for any personnel's spare home key. Removal of the object from the compound will result in immediate termination. Appendix A. While SCP-005 have been shown to be effective in removing almost any form of locking device, further experiments have shown that efforts to disguise the purpose or identity of a lock has proven to be at least somewhat effective in deactivating SCP-005's ability. In approximately 50% of cases where a volunteer was not able to identify the locking device as such, SCP-005 was not successful in deactivating the device. Due to these results, SCP-005 has been tentatively classified as sentient, and further tests are being run to determine the cognitive abilities. However, there are no results that show any trace that prevent it from being able to identify any particular locking device, only that the aforementioned device has been heavily concealed and disguised.
Item number SCP-006. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. Whereas the nature of SCP-006 does not warrant any extensive containment, a certain level of secrecy is necessary regarding the object's existence and properties, for obvious reasons. The following procedures are required not for personnel safety, but to deny or hide knowledge of SCP-006's effects from the personnel who interact with it. Number 1. All personnel interacting with SCP-006 in any physical way are required to wear modified class VI-BNC suits. Before personnel are allowed to perform procedures, they must be briefed with material SCP-006-B or SCP-006-C. SCP-006-A briefing is the correct one and is restricted to only those with O5 clearance. To assure personnel are wearing suits properly, they are to be submerged into a pool of water. Any air bubbles spotted signify a leak in the suit. Procedures with SCP-006 are to be carried out under extreme surveillance. In case of contact with SCP-006, the commander in charge will announce Procedure 006-XI-12, which the personnel have been briefed to believe to mean high toxicity is present and they must evacuate. Number 3. Any procedure in which liquid is acquired from SCP-006 must be approved by 3 O5 level personnel. The liquid is to be transferred in a quad sealant container and under armed guard. Number 4. If at any time personnel come into contact with SCP-006 or liquid from SCP-006, they are to be confined and terminated after sufficient studies are done. Due to the nature of SCP-006, the most effective termination method is incineration. For full report, see file SCP-006-TER-05. Description: SCP-006 is a very small spring located 60 kilometers west of Astrakhan. Foundation Command was aware of its existence since the 19th century, but were unable to secure it until 1991 due to political reasons. On the spot of the spring, a chemical factory has been constructed as a disguise, with the majority of laborers under Foundation and/or Russian control. The liquid emitted from the spring has been chemically identified as simple mineral water in 1902, but has the unusual property of health. Ingesting the liquid produces the following properties in human beings: the ability to regenerate DNA damaged by sufficient duplication, heightened excitement of cellular duplication, vastly improved abilities in the repair of damaged tissue, and a frightening increase in the effectiveness of the human immune system. Upon testing the liquid on animal subjects, hostile bacteria and viral agents were destroyed immediately. Many reptiles and birds were unaffected, while higher primates experienced the same benefits as humans.
Item SCP-007. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-007 is to be contained in a sealed room measuring 10 meters on each side. Room is to be furnished comfortably as a living area, along with whatever items are requested by hereafter referred to as Subject, given that providing Subject with requested items would not compromise security. Subject is not to be allowed to leave the room, and is to be detained with force if necessary. Description: SCP-007 is located within a cavity in the abdomen of Subject. Subject is a Caucasian male, physically approximately 25 years of age. Subject claims to be 28, and 176 centimeters in height. Most of Subject's abdomen, muscles, skin, and organs is absent, though Subject does not appear to suffer because of this. Instead of normal flesh, a sphere composed of soil and water is present, though it does not actually come into contact with Subject's body at any point. The sphere appears to be in most respects a miniature, near duplicate of the Earth, approximately 60 centimeters in diameter, although continental alignment is not consistent with that of any alignment known in Earth's history. Sphere has its own weather patterns and negligible gravitational pull, in addition to the microscopic organisms somewhat resembling those of modern-day Earth inhabiting it. 2 intelligent species have been observed, though contact and communication with either has yet to be made. Technology levels of observed species must be checked at least once a week, and as of are approximately equal to that of 15th century Earth. Subject claims to be named, but no records of such a person can be found. Subject does not require food or water, and while he has been observed consuming both, what happens to such substances after being swallowed is unknown. Subject is intelligent, IQ has been measured at 128, and amiable, and regards the planet in his abdomen as a minor curiosity about his body. Subject seems to experience no stress about his unusual condition. When questioned about planet's origins, Subject replied, "I just woke up one day and there it was. I don't have any idea how it got there." Subject has provided a social security number and driver's license number and requested that they be checked against known records. When checked, it was discovered that neither had yet been allocated. Dr. has a weekly chess game with subject, during which subject's mental health is evaluated. Dr. reports that subject does not seem to mind the restricted living environment, and has yet to attempt to escape or show signs of violence or mental illness, though he has repeatedly requested a computer with an internet connection. It is recommended that this not be provided, as it may be used to compromise security.
By order of the Overseer Council, this file is subject to Level 4 classification. Level 4 clearance is required. Security clearance adequate. Accessing file. SCP-008 samples have been deemed Class 5 extreme biological hazards, and all related protocols apply. Incineration and irradiation measures will be deployed in the event of a political or military action which may result in the facility being dismantled, a power failure, or zero communications from operatives or outside channels during any given 8-hour period. The quarantine period for operatives leaving the facility is around 4 months. If a breach has occurred, incineration and irradiation measures shall be deployed. It should be the policy of all G2 sites to not prepare an evacuation procedure. Description: SCP-008 is a complex prion, samples of which are stored in each of the known G2 sites. Research into SCP-008 is highly classified and primarily aimed at preventing research which may lead to the synthesis of SCP-008 in the distant future. Traits of the SCP-008 prion include 100% infectiousness, 100% lethality, transmission through exposed mucous membranes and all bodily fluids, not airborne or waterborne. Symptoms of infection with SCP-008 manifest no more than 3 hours after exposure and include flu-like symptoms with high fever plus severe dementia in later stages, coma onset approximately 20 hours after the first symptoms appear and 12 hours after noticeable dementia. Coma onset will be considered onset of death. A period of sporadic cellular neurosis occurs which comes to resemble gangrene. Surviving tissue assumes its original function and is highly resilient. Red blood cells greatly increase oxygen storage capacity, resulting in slower blood flow and increased muscle endurance and strength. Nervous and muscular systems are unaffected by total organ failure for several hours. Metabolism may decrease to extremely low levels, allowing subject to survive for over 10 years without nutrition. High blood viscosity results in negligible blood flow from gunshot, puncture, and slashing injuries. Conditioned behavior, motor controls, and instinctive behavioral mechanisms are damaged, and cognitive abilities are severely retarded and erratic. Animals experience excessive brain necrosis and are inactive. Subjects can adapt to its damaged nervous systems, but is still limited to basic physical activities, including standing up, balancing on 2 legs, walking, biting, grabbing, and crawling. Subject will energetically move towards sights, sounds, and smells it associates with living humans. Subject will attempt to ingest living humans if physical contact is made. Neutralizing fully infected subjects requires significant cranial trauma. There is a strong evidence to suggest that SCP-008 itself did not form naturally on Earth, since variants of similar complexity would have displaced much of the ecosystem. In 1959, a short collaborative effort with the USSR to locate G2 sites and eliminate SCP-008 was negotiated following their discovery. The status of SCP-008 in Russian custody since collaboration ended is unknown. Addendum 008-1. SCP-500 has been found to be able to completely cure SCP-008, even in the advanced stages of the disease.
Item Number SCP-009. Object Class Lucid. Special Containment Procedures. Subject is to be contained within a sealed storage tank of heat-resistant alloy with dimensions not less than 14 meters cubed. Under no circumstances should SCP-009 be exposed to temperatures in excess of 0 degrees Celsius when not undergoing testing, and no mundane liquids in a solid state, especially frozen water, shall be allowed within 30 meters of the subject's containment area. Subject's chamber will be fitted with temperature sensors which shall be monitored at all times, and is to be kept refrigerated by no fewer than 3 redundant cooling units. Any malfunction of sensors or of coolant system is to be reported and repaired immediately. If at any time the temperature in the containment area climbs above -5 degrees Celsius, the chamber is to be locked down immediately and flooded with coolant until the temperature has been brought back down to between -30 degrees Celsius and -25 degrees Celsius. Atmosphere must be evacuated from the containment area when personnel are present within, and any water vapor present must be filtered and kept in the same condition as detailed herein for no fewer than 24 hours. Any vapor displaying properties of SCP-009 is to be quarantined and added to the containment area as soon as possible. All personnel interacting with or observing the subject must wear full environmental protection suits. All personnel leaving the containment chamber must undergo dehydration of all gear, research material, and other objects contacting SCP-009's chamber. If contamination is discovered, no material or personnel shall be permitted to exit, and a Level 2 lockdown of the containment area shall commence. Lethal force is authorized in case of dire need, but all security forces are strongly advised to remain as far from their target as possible to minimize the chance of contact with fluids contaminated by SCP-009. Description: SCP-009 is approximately 3,700 liters of a substance which exhibits a number of unique properties. While small amounts of the substance, in all phases, are as colorless as mundane water, in mass it takes on a distinct deep red hue. Its most notable property, however, is the fact that SCP-009's reaction to temperature extremes is exactly the opposite that of standard H2O. The subject assumes a liquid phase at temperatures between -100 degrees Celsius and 0 degrees Celsius, and converts into a solid states above these temperatures. At temperatures below -100 degrees Celsius, SCP-009 vaporizes into a gaseous phase similar to steam, though it still retains its red coloration when put under high pressure. Examination of the atomic structure of SCP-009 have proved inconclusive. Tests indicate that the subject is composed of the same combination of hydrogen and oxygen as normal water, leaving researchers to speculate that the source of the subject's abnormalities may be the atoms themselves. Dr. has suggested that the subject may have originated in or been altered by another reality in which the laws of physics are inverted. This theory may have some merit in light of SCP-009's marked ability to assimilate natural water into its mass. If placed in physical contact with any aqueous solution, be it ice, salt water, or water vapor in air, SCP-009 will spread and contaminate any H2O in said solution, causing it to exhibit the subject's properties. Though this capacity is present in all phases, it has been observed to progress most slowly and thus to be most containable in the liquid phase. If the subject comes in contact with any biological source of heat, it begins a runaway reaction in which the living organism's bodily fluids are rapidly converted to SCP-009 and promptly frozen by their own body heat. Because of their generally high core temperatures, mammals are particularly susceptible. Because SCP-009 produces heat while freezing at the same rate mundane ice consumes heat while melting, the process is self-perpetuating until all available moisture is converted, or until it is halted by external interference. Experiments on D-class personnel have illustrated the process of conversion by the subject, which has been condensed down to a series of steps. 1. Internal exposure. Subject is exposed to SCP-009 and it begins converting any water present on the exposed surface, usually skin, to exhibit its properties. Presence of mist, fog, snow, or other solid or vaporous water greatly accelerates this process. 2. Surface conversion. A thin layer of frost forms on the exposed area as body heat and heat produced by SCP-009 raise its temperature above freezing. Progression to this step can take anywhere from 5 minutes to 1 hour, depending on victim's body temperature. At this stage, freezing has begun progressing through the internal layers of the epididymis and soon reaches live cells. 3. Deep tissue conversion. Exponential increase in temperature of SCP-009 causes expansion of ice crystals throughout the victim's body, resulting in widespread perforation of internal cell structure. Actual blood loss is minimal at this stage due to the crystals filling the puncture wounds, allowing subject to remain alive and conscious for up to hours. 4. 5. Death. multiple organ failure, and exsanguination via systematic crystallization. Testing on D-Class personnel was discontinued as of April 23, 2000. Addendum: Circumstances of retrieval. Subject was found in Alaska on November the 5th, 19. The Foundation became involved after reports were obtained from the native tribe, who came across the mangled bodies of a team of seal hunters, which had apparently been shipwrecked kilometers from the village. All victims were found encased in red ice. Cause of death recorded as internal bleeding. On victims whose features were sufficiently intact, expressions of panic and intense pain were observed. It is surmised that the low ambient temperature in the area retarded the freezing process. This prolonged the time to total conversion by hours and allowed the victims to remain conscious until Addendum: December 16, 2000. Supercooling of SCP-009 for the purpose of experimentation is disallowed until further notice. Personnel are advised that liquid nitrogen is only to be used on the subject in controlled amounts, and only until temperatures have reached acceptable levels. Related notes: possible application of SCP-009 in cold fusion research pending evaluation.
Item Number SCP-010. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. The objects compromising SCP-010 are to be kept in numbered locked boxes in a high-security facility. They are not to be worn, except by test subjects. SCP-010 are only to be removed from storage for testing. Description: SCP-010 consists of a series of 6 apparently identical cast iron collars with numbered metal tags and 1 remote control. The control is SCP-010-1. The collars are SCP-010-2 through 010-7. The collars contain intricate electronical components and are powered by small 5mm in diameter, 2mm thick, 100-watt batteries. These batteries are rechargeable. The remote is a heavy black box resembling an old-style handheld radio transmitter/receiver, with a primitive blue and white cathode ray screen and series of more than 100 unlabeled buttons, as well as a frequency tuner. Through trial and error, the frequencies of all 6 currently found collars have been discovered. A label in Russian is stamped onto the metal along the logo consisting of workers building a pyramid. No official Russian corporation or government agency uses this logo or matches the words stamped onto the metal. Placing the collar around the neck of a person and securing it allows one to control their every movement with the remote. It is also capable of producing an adrenaline response and activating or deactivating the sympathetic nervous system. The most abnormal feature on the collars is the effect they have on the body metamorphically. They allow the user of the remote to reconfigure the shape of the victim to an extent that is apparently only limited by the knowledge of the programming language of the remote. Addendum 010-1. History. SCP-010 was discovered in the basement of a lone man in the Midwestern United States, after a local disappearance was connected to him. When the police raided the man's house, they found SCP-010 as well as several dead bodies. One of the bodies was identified to be the man. The others were several other missing persons. Cause of death seemed to be mass suicide. However, there were signs of significant struggle first. Addendum 010-2. Disassemble Experiment. Test 1. SCP-010-2 taken apart piecewise, the parts labeled and several photographs taken, then reassembled. Result: after reassembly, SCP-010-2 continues function. Test 2. SCP-010-8 constructed identically to SCP-010-2, but with the closest approximities available to the unreplicatable components. Result: SCP-010-8 fails to function. Test 3. Unreplicable components from SCP-010-2 placed into proper locations on SCP-010-8. Result: SCP-010-2 ceases function with removal of components. SCP-010-8 begins functionality. Test 4. Components returned to SCP-010-2. Replicable components in SCP-010-2 replaced randomly with replicas. Result: SCP-010-2 begins functionality with return of components. Changing replicable components for replicas does not signify reduced functionality. Replacement of a damaged transitor decreased time from transmission to effect of SCP-010-2's response to commands entered by the remote by 12%. Addendum 010-3. SCP-010 has been demonstrated to work more efficiently in creating unskilled labor than for any other task. The logo is apt. Signed, Dr. And that concludes the first video in this series. Please wait for any Class C or higher personnel for further instructions. The next video in this series should be en route to your location. Please wait for further instructions. This has been Episode 1 of SCP and You. Once again, congratulations on being hired. We really do appreciate your hard work and dedication to the SCP Foundation. Thank you for choosing the SCP Foundation. Your loved ones will miss you. Transmission ended.